Hello Hungry Learners, welcome to the Storytelling Science Lab YouTube channel. In this video, we'll discuss what is a god, what conditioned the world, and why do people exist. Not from a philosophical perspective, but from a storytelling and world building perspective. So, what is a god? There are several different approaches to what a god is in a fictional world. A god could be just a powerful being. Say a human grows so strong and they somehow ascend to godhood. They become a god. A god could be an ever eternal being that's always existed and cannot die. A god could be just a force, an unknowable force. Perhaps the force created the world, not Star Wars force, but some force, some sort of cosmic force that no human could understand what its purpose is or what exactly it is even. So those are three different ways of viewing what a god is, and related to that question is what does it mean to be a god rather than just a powerful being? Because a being could have, in a fictional world, a being can have magical powers, and even if they're extremely powerful, they may not be a god. What separates gods from powerful beings is this divine essence. And the divine essence is different from God to God. And that's one reason why you might have a god of farming or a god of justice. Is the god of justice's divine essence is this divine desire for justice, or the god of farming would be the divine desire for farming. And you worship, people in your fictional world may worship the god by farming or by being just. Or the god may require more from the people, such as sacrifices. Excuse me. Perhaps the god of farming requires yearly sacrifices of all of the, or some of the crops and animals that have been farmed. And the god, depending on how you view the divine essence, the god may be opposed to anything that is different from their divine essence. So a god of farming views foraging for food as evil and sinful, and tenets of this god would view people who forage for food as evil. So in a game, a setting such as Dungeons and Dragons, the farmers who worship the god of farming might view druids as evil because they live off the land, right? Purely because they're opposed to their god. Or this god may have a diverse and complex divine essence that when you worship the god of farming, you're actually worshiping the same god as the people who forage worship. They worship the god of the forest, but it's just a different aspect of the god. That's another way of looking at the divine essence, is that maybe there's only one god, or maybe there's two gods and they have domains, right? So like one god is the god of nature, farming, life, that sort of thing. And then the other god is a god of the seasons and the climate, water, those sorts of things. So they're intrinsically related, but they're different because plants require the right climate and they require water. Those are the things that I can think of to define what a god is. So you've got the divine essence view of looking at it, You've got a mysterious force view of looking at it, and you've got just a powerful being, which I don't really like. Like, just a personally, I don't find that very compelling and interesting. But if you find that interesting, then good on you, right? Go wild. So next we have, as far as the origins of your world go, what conditioned the world? So the world may have been ever existing. There may have always been different planes of existence. There may have always been a multiverse. Or the material plane and all the planes of existence, as well as a multiverse, may have been created by a being, an immensely powerful God, right? Perhaps this God created a multiverse, and in each multiverse put different gods, or put copies of the same, lesser God. But in any event, what conditioned the world has huge world-building implications. And what I mean by that is, suppose a world that was created by a God of justice. This God of justice wants there to be justice. And without injustice, there can be no justice. So this God creates people. And this God also creates demons to tempt people with evil. So the God believes in justice, an eye for an eye, fairness. The demons believe in injustice. I poke out your eye, and you don't get to poke out mine. So that world would have significant power struggles between good and evil. There would be good and evil objectively, right, to this God's view. If you want to, whether you have objective good and evil in your world usually is dependent upon the writer, whether they believe in objective good and evil, and whether or not you believe in objective good and evil. You can make a world with or without objective good and evil. It's very interesting to write a story that explores, good versus evil, or relative good. Can be a very compelling story. A character having to struggle with doing the right thing in a difficult scenario, that can be a very compelling story. But alternatively, if the God of farming made the world, the God of farming may view foraging as evil. And what the God of farming would want might be people to farm, but this God would create a world where foraging is tempting. Foraging for food. Because in our world, foraging is not as spatially efficient as farming. It's not objectively bad, but it takes a lot of land to sustain one human indefinitely. And so for that reason, humans invented farming to be able to sustain a lot more people in a smaller area. But if a God of foraging created the world, you would expect to see a lot more forageable food, so that foraging is a temptation, and people have to pick. People have to choose to follow the God of farming's will. If you don't believe in, if you don't want to write a story where gods are separated by their divine essence, and instead are just powerful beings, well, why does this powerful being like farming? What do they just really love farming? And maybe they love farming because they were one of the first people to exist. and they ascended to godhood. They ascended into farming. They ascended into being the god of farming, and maybe the world doesn't have any other gods, or maybe it does, but either way, this god now had to forage for, as one of the early people before farming was invented, and so he ascends into godhood, and then sends, comes to people and teaches them how to farm. But my hope with this video is to get you thinking about what your world might look like, based on what conditioned the world. If nothing conditioned the world, then you do have a bit more freedom as to where you want to go, but you should still think about what forces caused people and society to develop the way that it did. So next, we have, why do people exist? One view you could hold is that there is no purpose to our existing. That's kind of a glum way of looking at it. So a bit more optimistic would be, our purpose is to pursue happiness, or to pursue joy. That's a fairly common view in modern Western society, is that people are really meant to pursue their own joy. Another way of looking at it is that people were made by a god to serve that god and to please them. And again, why gods exist and what exactly they are would change why they would create people or how they would serve them. But at a basic level, there is no one reason why people exist. And people here is a very broad category of intelligent creatures. Creatures that are able to critically think and to solve problems. There's a really good Grungeon Master about what constitutes, or a Grungeon Master video about what constitutes a person. He laid out 4 criteria, which I thought was a very interesting video. The category, the definition of people I'm using here is very broad. So thinking about why people exist might help you create a more compelling and immersive world, and help you to make a believable world that your audience can be truly immersed in. But anyway, thanks for watching this video. Be sure to like and subscribe, leave a comment. Atheists go wild. Just kidding. I don't even know why I said that. Thank you for watching this video. Thank you for making it all the way to the end. Our patrons are Saluma. Thank you for supporting. If you would like to support us and keep our videos free, go to our Patreon, Storytelling Science Lab, and consider a charitable donation of $5 or $10, or a monthly donation would be much appreciated. Have a great day, and as always, stay hungry. Hello, hungry learners. Welcome to another Storytelling Science Lab YouTube channel. Today, we will be discussing what God is conditioned the world what, and do people exist? Why?